Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn and David Dollar.
It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast. What's funny is that when you sing it, it never comes through. I always get the end of it. Like, yeah, sometimes, well, I'll see you, and if you're watching on YouTube there, you'll see Jen go like, and at the very end of the audio, you hear, cast. And so I don't know if you're holding back your voice, you're not going strong on the microphone or whatever, but it's like,
well, if I really sing it out full voice, it will be very loud.
You should sing it out full voice. You should, or just like lean back and sing it out and just give your best Celine Dion. You can do it. Just future reference. I expect that. And you know,
okay, all right. Whenever I just start like podcast, and then we just start like
perfect. That should be our new theme song right there. So, Jen, how did you Disney this week?
Oh, Disney. I Disneyed by putting together my Jollywood outfit. Like I actually ordered the remaining things that I need for my Jollywood outfit. I also, because I got a new iPhone, I needed a new connecty piece for my in-park battery charging because like you know it's important to have those. So I did order my new iWalk. It's called, I don't know. My friend has
I know what brand it is. I know what that is.
Yeah. So I ordered it in pink.
My new connecty piece for my iPhone charger. Yeah, it's I understand. I get that. I have several chargers. I had an iWalk. It didn't really work for me very well, so I traded it in for a OtterBox. Actually has a really good chargers too. So I have a really thick, like wireless charging kind of thing. But I've got fuel rods everywhere, and I've got like 2 or 3 other chargers, and they're just piled.
I mean, I'll have multiple chargers. You can never have too many.
And none of them are charged, which is great, of course.
Maybe you should charge us before. Maybe you should charge those. Maybe.
Probably. So I Disneyed by seeing the latest MCU film, Captain Marvel.
Okay.
So let me just set this up here, and I want to kind of give a quick review, non-spoiler review. Now, I have not seen the Miss Marvel show that came out last summer, and it actually introduces a new character to the movies, Miss Marvel, which is not Captain Marvel. It's a teenager, and I believe her character name is Kamala Khan, played by the actress Amela Valahi, I think her name, and that I could be completely getting that wrong. I could look it up, but she's wonderful. She's like 14 or 15. She's fantastic. She steals the movie. She's so great because she's somebody who's just obsessed with Captain Marvel and wants to be Captain Marvel. And through the course of last year's show, she ends up getting some superpowers that she doesn't know what to do with. Well, in this one, so here's the thing. Did you have to see WandaVision or Miss Marvel? You did not have to see those, but it helps because Monica Rambeau, who is the little girl in Captain Marvel, is now the adult in WandaVision, and she's the one that gets zapped at the very end of the episode, zapped by hitting the force field, you know? And so she's in this as well. So some crazy things happen where Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau all trade places several times, like bodies,
like Freaky Friday,
not bodies and buildings, but like places. Actually, like Captain Marvel's in space and Miss Marvel's at her house, and suddenly Captain Marvel's at her house and Miss Marvel's in space. Okay, and Monica's in a spaceship over here, but all of a sudden Miss Marvel's in a spaceship and Monica's at her house. So it's like physical trade places, not physical,
not like Freaky Friday. Got it.
Right. So they end up they're chasing like these 2 bracelets, these bangly bracelets that have like this power and stuff, you know, and overall it's a very light-hearted kind of superhero movie. It's got there's some very silly parts to it. Like I was actually pretty entertained till about 40 minutes into it, and something extremely silly, even for a Marvel movie, happened, and I'm like, there we go. Really? I mean, just really dumb, right? And then the movie kind of picks back up again, and it gets okay. And then another like towards the end of it, there's an evacuation sequence of a lot of people in a spaceship that, just to me, I was like, that is really dumb. That is really stupid. What are we doing here? So overall, Marvel fans may or may not be pleased. It's got a very low box office total. But that's not just because of the quality of the movie. I think overall Marvel quality has been really tough over the last, I would say, 2 years. Movies have been rushed. I think I've heard it said that the visual effects people have been kind of overworked. So a lot of visual effects qualities have been affected. If you saw the series She-Hulk that came out earlier this year, maybe last year, it was gosh awful. It was horrible. The visual effects on it were so bad. I just thought the show was just ridiculous. There are people that love it. I just thought it was just a horribly bad show. And so So the visual effects on that were terrible. Some of the visual effects here are terrible. It's like I said, it's a lighthearted movie. If you go into it, don't expect the quality of Captain America Civil War. You're not going to get anything of that depth. The villain, to me, is not very good. It's like I just watched Captain Marvel in Endgame take on Thanos, and Thanos had to use an Infinity Stone to punch her to get her off. To get her off of him, to get her away. And yet she struggles with this chick and with a hammer. It's like whatever. There's a lot of the things in the movie that it's kind of one of those movies where you watch it going, so if you did this instead, none of that would make any sense. Or why did you do this? That's a dumb move. Just do that instead, and we've solved all our problems. It's a lot of that. It's not nearly as terrible as a lot of people are making it out to be. The reviews on it are just not good. It's somewhere in the Marvel pantheon, 32, 33 movies, wherever we are right now. It's south of the middle.
Okay.
I think Love and Thunder is probably the worst Marvel movie I've seen, only because the expectations of that movie were so high and it was so disappointing. I think Love and Thunder is just a terrible movie. It's above that. It's above the Eternals. It's not nearly as good as some of the mid ones like Black Widow, even the original Captain Marvel. So when you go into it, guys, just know that it's very lighthearted. I mean, the characters are great. Their characters are fun. Like I said, I really like the character of Kamala Khan. I think she's a great character. I think it sets up going forward where they're going to try to do something with the Young Avengers, which is Kate Bishop from Hawkeye.
Yeah.
They'll do, with Kamala Khan, with some other characters, kind of the younger, maybe an Eternal or two. I don't know. So there's that set up. There is a mid-credit scene to make sure you stick around for that. Nothing at the end. There's an audio clip at the end, which really is kind of silly. If you sit around and wait for it, you might be like, I waited for that? Really? But in the middle of it, there is a mid-credit scene that I think is very important that I'm not going to spoil for you. Not on the air. Maybe I'll tell you what it is later, Jen, if you want to know. But it's pretty like, okay, it's interesting. Might be the best part of the whole movie. I don't know. So that's my review of the Marvels. Is it worth $12? Probably not. Is it worth $7, $8 on a matinee? Maybe. Depends on how big of a Marvel fan you are. If you've seen WandaVision and Ms. Marvel, it's helped. Otherwise, it's one. I mean, could you skip it? Probably.
It'll be out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it'll be on Disney Plus probably sooner than later, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, honestly. It's for me, the quality of a movie for me a lot of times personally has to do with rewatchability. Could I put this movie on and rewatch it again, even if it's not very good? I could probably watch this movie again. I don't know that I'll watch Ant-Man 3 again because there's just too much involved in Ant-Man 3, and I'm like, eh. So, it is what it is. So there you go. Jen, of course, has not seen the Hulk or Iron Man, and we'll get there.
No, I haven't.
We'll get there.
Sure,
we'll get there.
Sure,
we are still planning on doing a lot of that with a Patreon, that maybe even after the first of the year, because it's Christmas and it's insane.
It's
so,
crazy.
Jen, we've got several trips coming up this week. Before we get to the news, let's talk about this week. And I don't want this to be like, hey, listeners, guess what we get to do? It is kind of some of that, but no, it's like I'm going down to Universal starting tomorrow, and
yes.
I'm going to spending 2 nights at Cabana Bay. I've never stayed there. I've toured it a couple times, never stayed there. I like to go to Universal about once every year and a half. There's not really anything new right now, but I want to get the feel of it, get some content. There will be and stuff. I want to see some new stuff, of course. Epic Universe
actually, that's not
so.
True. Minions is new. You have not seen
right. Minions Land is new. Minions Land is new. I forgot about that.
And there's a really cool mobile ordering thing that I just actually learned about today. It's almost like, at Disney, you can do the pre-order and say like, okay, I'm here. You can do that at the Minions Cafe.
Nice. Very nice. I'm going to do
which
that.
Which is new technology for Universal.
So I do get to see the Minion Land, the Minion area, which would be nice. I'm going to ride the Jimmy Fallon ride, which I think I'm the only person in the whole world that likes that ride.
You've never ridden
I think
that?
It's kind of fun.
I love that
I've done
ride.
It before. I love that ride. Most people are like, oh my gosh, that ride's so bad. I'm like,
are you kidding me? It's so fun.
It's kind of fun. So
I really love it. I'm not a huge fan of the Fast and Furious. I'm like, it's okay.
No, that ride is terrible. That ride's awful.
It's like, I was like, I got off of that ride. I'm so sorry if you like this ride. I'm like, oh, that was it. That's what this ride was? Okay. Yeah.
They're very 3D heavy, and unless your eyes and your brain can buy into the 3D, like a great example of this is Kong, the Kong Island or whatever the ride is called. You get into a bus, and I hate to break the fourth wall for you guys and spoil the magic, but it's Universal. It's not magical. You get into this bus, and the ride itself is supposed to be you're touring through this island. Kong attacks, and all around you, you see through the windows and through the roof, you see Kong and the villains fighting.
Dinosaur, I think.
Dinosaurs and everything. In reality, the bus is basically gone to probably 30 yards ahead, stopped, and then it's a motion simulator, and there are 3D screens above and around you.
Yeah.
And again, unless you're buying into it, it doesn't like it doesn't take. And like for me, I'm like I see nothing but a TV screen. That's all I'm seeing is a TV screen.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious is the same way, only worse because their TV screens their 3D is not
good. But
it's
see, at least in Kong, then you could buy that like really huge animatronic Kong, like that, which is like that is really cool. Like
some of that,
like that part is really neat.
The Minions ride and even the Simpsons ride, which the Simpsons ride is closed now, by the way. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that they're reopening that. We haven't heard.
Now that Disney owns Simpsons, I don't know that Universal's like one more thing we got to pay royalties to Disney for.
Right. I could see them changing that.
Yeah,
I could see them
changing
that
contractually.
I
can see
no
that
idea.
too. Well, I mean, Universal's like it's like a box. Basically, they just pull it out and put something else in. Just
I mean, it wouldn't be that hard, I don't think, to retheme that area to something that they
from the time of this podcast, our recording starting 20 minutes ago to the time it releases on Thursday morning. Literally somebody in an office, a janitor could be like, boss, I got an idea for that area. And they could have the area open by Thursday. It's really that insane.
I mean, like they're pretty fast.
Only good, but they could do it. Other 3D rides they have there, like the Jimmy Fallon and Minions are the same way. You're in a theater.
Yes.
And so it's like, it doesn't really ask me to buy into it. It's a fun ride.
But it's what other Minions though, like I feel like you do move a little bit in the Minions.
You definitely move. Same thing with Jimmy Fallon. You move as well.
You move as well. There. Yeah, there's some movement. Like the seats, the seats move.
But it's almost like low 3D expectations, and so I'm okay with that. Yeah. Really okay.
I actually find them fun. I find them fun. Like yeah.
Well, I'm going for a couple of days now. Like I've been to Universal before by myself, where I'll take the day, just do as much as I can, and then go back to Disney or whatever. Well, now I'm going to spend a couple of days there, and I'm really excited because I get to see everything and do everything as much as possible by myself. I'm going to zip around, get content, take pictures, take video. There are things that I've done several times. I'm like, I don't know that I'll do Men in Black again. I've done it several times. I'm going to try to do Velocicoaster a few times. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's
do
fun.
Velocicoaster.
Oh,
and now that
definitely
do Velocicoaster.
Now that it's Express Pass, but for the folks out there looking at Universal, just know that Express Pass is complimentary with your deluxe or your premium stay.
Or premium.
Hard Rock, Lowe's Hard Rock Hotel. No, actually, it's not Lowe's. It's just
Hard Rock Hotel.
Hard Rock Hotel, and then Lowe's Portofino Bay and Lowe's Royal Pacific. Gina, if you're listening, trying to get it right there. That's your premium, which is deluxe. Your resorts, they're right there by the parks. It's like a 10-minute walk to the parks. Your premium
Hard Rock is almost like 5. Hard Rock is close.
It's included, which is great because Express Pass, you have that on your ticket. You have a separate line. You walk right up, but it's not like Genie Plus. You have to reserve it. Yeah, just walk up and you're done. There are two kinds. There is a limited where you basically get like one ride per attraction. Like I can do Hulk once, I can do Velocicoaster once, whatever. And there's unlimited, which is what I suggest because you can just do Hulk over and over if you want. Now, if you do the value what's the term for it? I don't know. It's value something.
There's prime value, and then there's
prime value. Then value.
So prime value would be your like upper echelon values.
Yes.
Aventura,
which is like your moderate, basically.
In Cabana. Well, there's the preferred. Don't forget preferred. Everyone forgets preferred because there's only one hotel.
That's Low Sapphire Falls. So, well, see, this is the reason I'm going because as a travel agent, and I'm being completely serious about this, as a travel agent, I want to stay up to date as much as I possibly can. Yeah. I spend so much time at Disney. I want to go to Universal by myself, explore. I might go to a resort, see if they'll let me walk around some. I have not been to Sapphire Falls. If I can get in there and walk around, I want to take some pictures. Aventura,
that's where I stayed for the Preferred conference, and it's beautiful.
I may try to slip into Volcano Bay for a couple of hours just to ride a few things.
You should.
I haven't done it, so I want to.
And use your
Tapu. Exactly, which is like their Express Pass over there, and that's actually free to all your guests with admission. So
there is an additional version of Express Pass for Volcano Bay, but because Tapu was like a reservation versus like a
right. Well, and all of that is to say that Express Pass comes with your premium package. You have to purchase it extra for your prime and your prime value for the other resorts. And it can be pricey. It can be very pricey and preferred, yes, because I believe on the day that I would like to go for the entire day with Express Pass, it's somewhere around $140 added to my ticket. Now, is it worth it? Absolutely. But it's one of those things is, do I want to spend the money on it? That's the thing, because for $25 more, I could go to Disney and do the Christmas party that night. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I haven't decided. Also, I have to face my wife with, this charge of $147. That's including tax. Let me tell you what that is. It's gonna come back in the end. I promise you, it's gonna be great. So
it's worth it.
It's worth it. It is some of that. So that's happening at Universal. And then and then with my trip, actually, I move over to Disney World on Thursday morning. I rejoin the team. The team's like all coming together. It really started with two of our agents, Downeaster Alexa and Kyla, who's been on the show several times. They decided, hey, let's get together and go to Disney World. Hey, you guys, y'all want to come? And of course, everybody said absolutely. So a bunch of people are coming, and coming up, which we'll get to talk about this next week. We're going to be doing Jollywood Nights. We'll talk about that in a second. We're going to be doing the fireworks cruise. We'll be doing Wild Africa Trek, some excursions and things that maybe a lot of us haven't experienced or haven't done in a very long time, and just enjoying ourselves, having some fun, making some memories, getting lots of content, Jen, for your web pages and your Instagrams and such. Jollywood Nights. So we cannot give a review on Jollywood Nights because we haven't
done there. We haven't been it. We haven't been it. We haven't been there.
Haven't been it. Yes, but there's an overwhelming consensus right now online. Depending, and really, it doesn't even depend on who you look at, whether it's bloggers or your fellow travel agent or even just some guests. The good part is there's a lot of cool things to do at Jollywood Nights. I've heard of people say that the parties are great. And this is cool, and the food is delicious.
And like great music and great food. Yes, exactly. What I'm hearing.
What I'm hearing, however, is the lines are terrible. Like there's so many people coming in there, and I'm reading, like I saw a review this morning that the majority of people, because most things are happening at the front of the park, the majority of people are all crammed on Sunset Boulevard between Tower of Terror and Brown Derby. The rides are walk-ons. Like I think somebody said they waited 10 minutes for Slinky Dog. They walked
which is crazy.
Slinky Dog,
which is
insane. Rise of the Resistance. They had a virtual queue for it. They got right on it at the end of the night. I mean, it was just it's crazy. But we're anticipating the lines. That's the big thing. I'm hoping this was the first time they'd ever done it.
Brand new. You know that there's going to be anytime there's something brand new. Yep. You have to say there's always a learning curve. Like, even for Disney, who's done parties, because they've not really done a party like this in Hollywood Studios, which is their smallest park.
Okay, I'll talk to Bob and Josh because I know you guys are listening. What I remember happening the last time I did the Wild Africa Trek, and for those of you who don't know what that is, we'll talk about that in just a second. The last time I did the Wild Africa Trek, it was like $159 per person because they were just introducing it. It was kind of we did one of the first probably 5 or 10 they even offered.
Oh wow!
Because they didn't know they were just offering us like 3-hour experience. You go backstage in Animal Kingdom, you hang over the crocodiles, you feed the hippos, you have a lunch on the savannah.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Kilimanjaro Safari and you see the cabana out there with people in it or buses that are stopped with people getting off, Wild Africa Trek, that's what that is. And so they've raised the price considerably over the years. But it was almost like actually it wasn't $159, it was $129 per person because it was almost like a quote unquote test because again, it was so early. I kind of wish Disney had done that with Jollywood Nights for at least the first 3 or 4, done a cheaper price. So that way they can kind of get a feel for it. They can kind of let people know, okay, we're trying to feel this out. So people wouldn't walk out going, well, at least we didn't pay the full price for it. Cause it's 180 plus tax. It's pricey. It's an expensive ticket.
But that said, I am going to say this though. We don't want it to be oversold because I think overselling would be the thing that could really make it, that could really be not as good. My words are not working today. So I think we don't know if it's oversold or not, because I was thinking this would be like the after hours events where only a handful of tickets are sold.
I
wasn't thinking that.
No, this is going to be like, this is the Christmas party or your Halloween party kind of thing.
That was the level that I was expecting was a Christmas Halloween. Now the feedback I'm seeing as well is this is definitely a little bit more, not the kids. It's not inappropriate for kids. Kids will enjoy it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
But it's maybe just a little bit more targeted for adults because it's the jazz, it's the, it's the music, the food and the drink, something like that versus being like straight up a kids like running around like the Christmas party, there are still going to be those elements, but I'm excited to check it out. And I do think, especially based on how Disney is going right now, they are listening to feedback.
Yes,
for sure. They
definitely,
the cast members had to have seen the lines. The cast members don't want the lines because that makes people cranky. And then they have to deal with cranky people.
Right.
So
it's a rain, which Disney can't control the weather.
Nope.
They can't control the weather at all, but that doesn't help.
That does not help because if someone's getting wet and they're like, oh my gosh, and it's raining and listen, it is what it is. It's Florida. It rains.
Right.
So,
right.
I do think that the second one will learn from the first one and the third one will learn from the first two. And I think that by all reports, there is such a good structure. Like the bones are there and it's a good experience. I think eventually they can make it a great experience.
Yes.
So
yes.
I am hoping that we see some of that here this weekend. I'm very excited.
Yes.
I have my outfit all planned.
Yep.
I cannot wait for the Tip Top Club.
Tip Top Club, of course, at the Tower of Terror, where they have a jazz singer and specialty drinks and foods and things like that, which is exciting. So yes, I'm excited about that.
This is the other thing, and I don't know, somebody had brought this up. I think it's interesting, like for our crew that's going, we're in approximately the same age range.
Right.
And I feel like that this is just very much our vibe. Like this is like millennial.
Well,
Gen
not
X,
everybody's in their early 30s like yourself, Jen. And so it's a little, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, it really is. We're a lot of like-minded people going and enjoying a lot of the same things. And of course, people will split up, do their own thing, like any big group.
Course.
But we're excited about this. And and next week we will give you an honest assessment. We will tell you the good and the bad. Because I don't want to be like that show that goes, you guys, you have to go. It's amazing. It's awesome. I mean, there were little bad things, but everything is great. I mean, I want to give you the honest assessment, but I'm going into it very optimistic, even though I've heard that the lines are long, whatever. I'm going to go into it. I'm excited.
But it's Disney and lines are long sometimes.
And with the people that we're going with, that's what I'm excited about. So
exactly.
We'll be doing some of that. We'll be doing. There is the fireworks cruise, which will be basically watching the fireworks from a little
Epcot
ferry.
specifically.
Epcot cruise exactly. So we'll be watching the fireworks from the Epcot boat, which is Epcot Forever still, correct?
It's Epcot Forever until
because I have yet to see Epcot Forever, December 4th, because the 5th is the first night of Illuminous. 5th is the first night of Luminous.
Oh, okay. 4th is the last night of Epcot Forever. Okay,
last night of Epcot Forever. Which is, I've never seen it. I've never seen Epcot Forever.
I have.
Like every time I would go there, they were showing Harmonious, and Epcot Forever is kind of the stand in the gap, kind of fill in, for that.
See, I saw it after Illuminations ended, before they started Illumination Harmonious.
Harmonious, yes. Harmonious, Tapestry of Nations.
There was the other one.
Yeah, there's all that. I don't remember. I remember Tapestry of Nations, Illuminations, Harmonious.
And there was one where they played the William Tell Overture as part of it. I don't remember.
I have no idea.
I don't remember the name of that show. It was not called William Tell Overture, but that was the music for part of it.
Of course not. So the Paul, isn't it the Lone Ranger theme song? I think that's hit the Googles. Lone Ranger theme song, right? Live on the air. We're gonna figure this out. Lone Ranger theme song.
I don't know. Is it the same?
It is the William.
It is the William Tell Overture. Okay,
yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I should know that. So randomly off topic, there are some things. Like I was hearing a podcast talk about this, and it brought up a really good point. I feel as if the generation we're in now, of course, we're, I'm Gen X. You're
I'm in between. Nope, I am not a millennial. I am like that weird. I'm on the cusp. I'm like very tail end.
Like I am very adamant about like these are the years. You can't be like there's a gray area.
They're really.
You're an early millennial, or as they say, you're an older millennial, but you're a millennial.
I am not. Ask Brady.
Anyway,
I am not.
There are a lot of things I think that people nowadays, younger kids, teenagers, maybe in their 20s, whatever, have no idea. That was such a big part of our lives. Like a lot of teenagers probably have no idea what the Flintstones are or the Jetsons. I have no clue. They probably don't really know much about Lone Ranger, other than that was that Johnny Depp movie that maybe they saw, but not really. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I forgot Johnny Depp even did that, but you're right.
Exactly. There's a lot of things probably from the 70s and 80s, Atari, things like that, like names and stuff that they just don't know what these things are. And I think, cassettes, 8-tracks, things like that are probably, which cassettes are kind of working their way back in, but 8-track tapes.
I don't think those are coming back.
I feel like there's a lot of things, and the Lone Ranger is probably one of them.
Vinyl's back though. I mean,
that's true. That is true. I don't imagine 8-tracks will come back there because those were so clunky and not working.
Yeah, it's not going to be a thing.
So, also coming out of Jollywood, to jump back over to this, Jen, did you know that there's a brand new character at Disney World? Like the last time we had a real character coming at Disney World. Not until you mentioned it,
like right before the show. I was like, what are you talking about?
Like Figment was the last one that came out. Orange Bird now is kind of like, well, it's been around for a long time, but now in the last couple of years, it's really a big deal.
71, wasn't it?
Yeah, but now we have Ollie. Ollie is the gingerbread character. He is the character from the Jollywood Nights, and he's a brand new character. He's the mascot for Jollywood Nights, and I would imagine he's going to be featured on everything. Disney has said that there haven't been any other park characters introduced since Figment. This is what they've said. Now, the characters have debuted in Disney World, like Asha and things like that from movies stuff, but not directly from the parks themselves. Like maybe if the Yeti had a name, they would say Yeti. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, but now Animal Kingdom is the only
whatever,
one without one. Because Magic Kingdom has Orange Bird, Epcot has Figgy, and now Ollie is for Hollywood Studios. So what does Animal Kingdom have?
Well, I feel like the Yeti should have a name.
He probably should.
Again, I don't know what Freddy the Yeti. Let's call him that.
Freddy?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
But I feel like he's a Yeti, so he needs to have like, I don't know, it needs to be a little bit different.
Like Bruce or
no
Harry the Yeti. I don't know.
Teddy the Yeti.
Whatever. So, I don't know. Exactly. So yeah, but I guess, but that's not really been a character that Disney has pushed. Ollie, I guess, is going to be like, I didn't even know this happened until like this morning. I was reading and I'm like,
I have no idea.
The gingerbread said, "Oh, it's a mask. Oh, it's a character."
Wait, is he gonna like greet us? Like, can I go get my picture with him?
No, he's gonna in the big sign in front, like the neon sign. If you've seen the neon sign that's in front with the
yeah, but what if I want to meet him?
Whatever. I don't know. I'm guessing they probably will, but I guess that might be kind of hard to do. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what Ollie is going
to think
Ollie,
about that.
Ollie the gingerbread dude is now a character at parks. So, yeah, matter of fact, I'm going to send you a picture of Ollie. I want to see Ollie. That way you can see Ollie. I'll send it to you right now so you can pull this up on your Facebook Messenger.
Oh dear.
Let's see. Hold on. Where'd we go here? It is Ollie the gingerbread guy. Yeah.
There it is. Oh, look at him. He's cute.
Isn't he kind of adorable?
It's really cute. Look at
now I'm waiting here for him to be on everything. So
little lick of hair up there. He's cute.
Also, Jen, randomly jumping topics here. We have a new promo that's actually now out. It actually came out on
Tuesday
of this week. Promo. What's this promo all about? Please.
Yeah.
Please do tell.
So, I mean, at the time of recording, because as Dave mentioned, it's dropping tomorrow as we're recording. By the time you listen to it, it dropped 2 days ago. However, what we know about it is a family offer. We do not have all the details. We don't have all the restrictions yet. I mean, typically with a Disney World offer, there are certain room categories excluded, like the bungalows, sometimes the Little Mermaid rooms. Those are kind of hit and miss. Mm-hmm. But basically, it is for a spring vacation package, and it's special for families. Kids age 3 through 9 will have half off theme park tickets and dining plans. But you do have to purchase the non-discounted 4-night, 4-day package for you and your children. So it has to be on-site hotel, also include theme park tickets, and it needs to include a dining plan. The dates, it's most stays March 3rd through June 30th. So folks, I mean, as always, there are sometimes dates that aren't available because those dates are already full. So, if you're like, whoa, but it's valid. Well, but there might be a week where it's,
right.
Like that's why it says most nights.
Yes.
There are going to be some exceptions. So, but just know we here at Upon a Star, we are ready for it. Well, if you are already booked with us, we'll see if it's advantageous for you. If
absolutely,
if you are not booked yet, this is a great time to look at booking. We already have a list of people who are interested in booking this package. So I think this is going to be a great deal because first of all, just with the dining alone, like that's a nice savings, and the ticket savings can be really nice too. So this is the time to start taking a look. And if you were thinking like, oh, it's still too early to plan for spring break, it's not.
Right.
It's definitely not. We need to get you planned.
What's fun too is that and I think most travel agents do this, but I know that we at Upon a Star do this as well. And this is not necessarily a plug for like, hey, we're an agency podcast, but at the same time, we're travel agents. Jen owns the place. I'm a travel agent as well. And we look at all the promos and we figure out what's going to work best for you. So you might have a promo already attached to your trip. And we'll look at this one and we'll say, and we'll give our suggestions. You know what? This is going to cost you a little bit more upfront with the purchase price, but it's going to be beneficial to you because you get all these things versus, hey, we looked at this. This is not really going to save you much money. I would stick with this over here instead. I know this looks appealing, half off, but we're going to give you our honest assessment, try to save you as much money as possible. Sometimes to the detriment of our own commissions, but hey, that's what we do. We are selfless. We are giving. We want to make you happy, so that's what we do. So yes. So we talked about my trip. We talked about the week. Jen, where are you staying? You're coming down Wednesday night. You're staying at the airport. Is that correct?
I typically do a late flight and just kind of stay at the airport that night. Or recently, I should say. That's what we've been doing. And then we just kind of get a good night's sleep, get up early the next day. And then just go ahead and head over. We are staying Jumbo House, Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Nice.
So we will be over there. I know a lot of our crew is staying there. We do have some folks staying at Coronado Springs as well.
Right.
So, and maybe a few other ones, I don't know, but I think it's going to be a wonderful time. And you are, of course, heading over that morning, and you are at
Correct.
Animal Kingdom.
I'm at Kidani Village.
You're Kidani.
Animal Kingdom,
Okay.
Kidani Village. Yep, Kidani Village. So I was able to work with somebody on their DVC. So I'm able to stay over the Kidani Village for, for hopefully a pretty good rate, which is nice for me. Because I'm somebody who would otherwise be at Pop Century. And actually, I had reserved a Pop Century room when I had this opportunity to come up. So I don't want to be out there thinking, oh, he's Mr. Big Bucks. No, I'm not. No, not at all. Because I do love Pop, which is nice. But Pop Century is also not running the Skyliner during Jollywood Nights. It's buses only. Buses only. And if there's one downside to Pop, if you have to take a bus like the Magic Kingdom or Epcot, those bus lines at Pop can get extremely long. We were there, or I was there last Christmas, and I was going to board the bus for Pop Century, and the line at the close of Magic Kingdom literally was 3 bus depots long. It was basically started, went all the way down to 1, 2, 3, back up again, all the way down, back up again. It was insane. Just it went fairly fast. They had like 3 and 4 buses that would show up at one time to pick up people, but Pop Century, just know those lines get really long, as opposed to Grand Floridian, where they sprinkle roses down. You get on the bus for Grand Floridian, you have your own little pod with a TV there and a recliner, and that's what Jenn does.
The funny part is there actually is a little TV, but it's just showing the wait times for the buses.
Right.
And
Exactly.
it is undercover.
And sometimes it's right, and sometimes it's not. It's like, oh, look, the bus is going to be in 2 minutes. You look 2 minutes later. Oh, look, the bus. Oh, it's 15 minutes from now. Great. So that's how it works. So, I think that's a good place to stop. We've just chit-chatted a little bit about the coming week, about the promos and things like that. Kind of a little magical chat. This is episode number 180, folks. We are headed into the Christmas season. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up on the podcast. And I just want to thank everybody listening. If you've listened, downloading, subscribing to the podcast, we'd love to hear from you. That, of course, is the msepodcast@gmail.com. You can send us an email. Let us know about the podcast, your thoughts, recommendations. What do you want to hear on the podcast? Of course, find me at the Magic on $1 on Instagram. Find me at Magic on $1 on Facebook, and also Disney on $1 on Facebook, which, by the way, I am closing in on 10,000 followers, and I'm so excited about that. So, because I just kind of let it roll. It's all organic. I don't buy followers, which I don't think you should do. And so here we are. I'm excited. So hopefully we'll get there this week. And I don't know what happens when Facebook you get to 10,000. I have no idea what Facebook does.
I don't know if they do anything, but
I guess
we'll get a congratulations.
I guess we'll find out. So don't forget to follow our contributors to the show, the Moana Mom, who is the quasi-producer Heather. She is also at the Moana Mom on Instagram, and Disney Geek 27, which is Kyla, who is a frequent sometimes third co-host to the show. So we have her on whenever we can as well. So Jenn, where can we find you on the Instagrams and on the webs?
You can find me at Upon a Star Jenn, or my personal Instagram is at Jenn_Novotny.
Perfect. Of course, find us in all the usual places at the MSA Podcast on Facebook and on Instagram, which is where we do most of our stuff. And just come follow along, especially this week, because when you listen to this, guys, on Thursday, we'll be mired in the world of magic, which is awesome. Don't forget, send us a quote, send us an idea if you need a quote, if you need something, when you're curious about a trip or you're ready to go, all in between. We're here for you. That is info@uponstartravel.com. Happy to help. So, all right, that's the show. Thank you so much, Jenn. I'm Dave, and hey, don't forget to thank your Phoenicians.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.